Well, Africa received 3.5% of the global FDI inflows in 2011. This is the lowest share of global FDIs. For a closer look at the numbers, we're joined now by Anthony Mwithiga, the CIO at Stanbic Investments. Anthony, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Just looking at the overall kind of absolute figure for 2011, global FDI inflows rising by some 17%. That's to $1.5 trillion. And that is higher than the pre-crisis average that we saw globally. So why is Africa's share of the global FDI pool falling back?
Yes, thank you. The Africans' allocation to global FDIs has traditionally remained low, even before the 2008 crisis, mainly because FDIs have tended to flow more to the developed economies of the world, and Africa, for obvious reasons, lags behind on that angle.
What are the reasons that it is lagging behind, though? I mean, what is holding Africa back? Because we keep on talking about the growth prospects. Growth going forward is very much centered around, sub-Saharan Africa. We know China and Asia as well, and Latin America. But Africa has really come into the spotlight in terms of growth projections.
Yes, yes, Africa remains a strong growth story, but from an FDI angle, absolute numbers remain low, mainly for three reasons. One, we still don't have a clear policy frameworks for attracting foreign direct investments in the continent. And secondly, we are yet to be able to provide a conducive investment environment. And thirdly, FDIs are still attracted to countries with more developed infrastructure, and Africa lags behind in that. But that said, the southern and north part of Africa have been able to attract strong foreign direct investment flows, with the eastern and western African part of the continent lagging behind.
It seems like oil-producing countries continue to attract the large share of FDI inflow into the continent still.
Yes, yes. Both the north and the southern part of the continent are attracting a bigger portion of the foreign direct investments to Africa, which, as you rightly say, totaled $55 billion by end of 2011. The main reason for that has been mainly two reasons. One is those are perceived to be sophisticated, well-organized, mature economies from an African perspective, and FDIs tend to track or to follow where economies are more organized, and secondly, FDIs transactions have tended to follow where there are natural resources or commodities like oil and minerals.
Yep. And
the northern part of Africa and southern part of Africa is strong on those two.
And this is perhaps a reason why that can explain the low FDI number into Kenya, because if you look at the number between the average between 1997 and 2011, FDI is a percentage of GDP sitting at 0.6%, and that's below the African average of 1.7%. What does Kenya need to do now to attract more foreign direct investment?
Yes, you're right. Kenya's portion of FDIs is actually below the African average at 0.6% compared to 1.7% for Africa average. What Kenya really needs to do is first and foremost to improve on its policy framework in attracting foreign direct investments. Secondly, the cost of doing business in Kenya remains a challenge to many international players who always require incentives to explore or to bring long-term sticky capital. And then thirdly, the country, though already improving its infrastructure, need to invest more in both physical and institutional policy frameworks.
So it's creating that enabling environment. Thank you very much for unpacking those numbers for us. Anthony Mwithiga, CIO of Stanbic Investments, joining us from our Nairobi studios.